Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. Where we last left off, this Malaysian slash this Singaporean country just formed. And there's a new layer called trade routes. I'm calling it trade routes. And it goes from the tip of India here from the capital of southern India to the capital of western India, through central India to the capital of Bangladesh, then over here to China. And Vietnam and the Singapore country are kind of mad about this because they weren't notified about this until it was too late, until the trade route had already been got across here. That's gonna be a common theme now. And I realized that we've been talking about like China, Southeast Asia, going into Oceania. When out west here, we've not really been talking that much. Why? Oh. If I can stick right there, that is. UAE. The scouts that went across here. Never. The scouts that went across here started exploring more and more of the UAE and the Arabian Peninsula, going all the way up into Qatar and Bahrain. And they're sending this information all the way back to these guys. And they plan to meet up around the Gulf of the Persian Gulf or Arabian Gulf, depending on who you're asking. And they do that. They meet up around here. And there will be a new country over here. I'm gonna start reusing cards now. This kind of country will pop up, and the UAE, and they'll have a part over here in order to help explore more west. And their capital will be right here. Now, I'm gonna have trouble doing yellow countries because the capitals are yellow. And this country makes a name for itself for being the first real Western country so far. Well, when you hear Western nowadays, you think of like America, Canada, UK, France, Spain, Portugal, Mexico. And when you think of Eastern countries, you think of like Russia, China, North Korea. But those don't really exist right now. Or at least it won't exist in the modern day. Or in this timeline, they won't exist like in the modern day. And there's more, and the exploration of modern day China continues. And this country does some expanding with its ever-growing population numbers. Needs the land or to house the people. Houses people. And they definitely bulge up right here in order to have more land in the defense of their capital. And I'm not really going to implement a like religion map or anything right now because I don't really see no reason. And in the last video you would see that this country, this purple country, was brutally attacked. And because they were stealing population from their surrounding countries, and that they still exist. They still have like the agricultural centers over here, but they're trying to revolt, kinda in the revolution-ish stage. And back over here in Persia, we see more expansion, more exploration up north. They heard rumors of there being a sea up here, being a big ocean, and it's the Caspian Sea. I guess it would be a lake, but it's technically called a sea, but whatever. And they find that there's like no one here. That there's just free land over here. And they have a hard time going into the Arabian desert because it's hot. They're just having a hard time period with it. And this video, I hope, establishes more countries and more story, I guess, to the series. Going down here, more of Indonesia's islands are being discovered. Borneo is just now discovered. And the Singapore country is doing most of the heavy lifting over here. And people are hearing rumors of vast islands full of resources. So they're moving down to the Singaporean country, which causes them wanting to expand up here, so they're able to take the people easier without really having too much to worry about. And this blue country hasn't really done anything in a while, so they start expanding over here. Let me fix that. There's like 2 different shades of blue here. They hope to be able to take this trade out. Help better ease the trade between them and China. China also follows the trade route and links up. And they don't really have an exact border to find, so I'm going to find it for them. The blue team basically takes all of this. Are going up to here, and they do a little more exploring right here. And there are parts still, and the blue team is Bangladesh is trying to crack down on it, help crack down on it. That's why they're basically taking all of this land to better help control and push forward, the region. And China does a little more expanding down here and up here. They'll better connect up with the blue team and help send them resources and supplies. And I know I believe I remember saying that we would discover Korea at some point. And I'm going to have them start to discover it as they discover more and more of China. At some point I'm going to start looking up more colors to do, because I'm basically using all my colors, and especially for a future Korean country. And right now there will be like a dark orange country over here pop up. Because people here are tired of just constantly moving and having to go back down here to the families and lives in China. And China is still the epicenter of Asia right now. And this country is just kind of rogue, I know. They haven't completely set up yet, so they kind of taking their sweet time with it in order to connect it up. They're hoping to encompass this area, which they slowly start to do as people come up here to kind of stay. It's not necessarily a permanent country, it's more of a temporary country if the people wish to become a separate country. Over to Persia now, they discovered the Caspian. I know I'm just kind of flip-flopping between like going over to Persia now, going over to China and Korea now. Is that I have a bunch of ideas flowing through my mind right now that I'm just having a hard time keeping up with it. They explore more and more of Iran and Pakistan. So, with more and more land being explored up here, this country is becoming very wealthy from being funded by these countries, these kind of richer nations, to explore over here. The one where they start expanding. Ooh, I missed a great spot. But yeah, they continue expanding as they're increasing trade with resources they find here. They find a bunch of minerals. Oil hasn't necessarily been found yet, discovered yet. Well, they discovered it, but they don't have a necessary use for it. That use will become necessary in a few hundred years. When we get closer to the modern age of the technology, of the cars, power, electricity, and basically stray away from what these guys basically have right now. And a new country will pop up. A gray country. A dark gray country will pop up here. And they will start to expand rapidly. This country is relatively weak, but it's kind of big in size. And their capital will be right here, on the back, near the Caspian. And they will help lead the exploration into Central Asia. These countries are becoming a little big for my liking. It must be for the countries like being big. But someone opposes this. Actually, two countries oppose this. I would like to introduce a new leader. An alliance leader. I haven't necessarily figured out how to do shapes yet. But I will find a way. The red team will form the square alliance. And they'll have the blue team join this alliance. Same with the orange team. Will join this alliance. And China will also join. This is our first alliance, and the largest and the strongest. It's basically like NATO. It's an attack when attack all. And if you mess with this, you will get messed with back. And this Dark Purple team will form the Diamond Alliance. Which Sri Lanka will join. I know I haven't really talked about Sri Lanka since like episode 1, but yeah, they're still here. And Singapore will join this alliance. And people are kind of on edge now that these military alliances are being formed. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. This with this ain't gonna be great. So yeah, people are gonna have a great time with this. And this Caspian country, I'm just gonna call it the Republic of Caspia. Original, I know. But they continue exploring the Caspian because they want to know how big this thing is. And they do a pretty good job of exploring up here. And they realize that the more north you get, at both altitude and distance, you start to die. But right now they're kind of located in a warm spot. And they may take this land. And I just thought of something. And there's a dispute within the rectangle lines, the square lines. And the orange team disagrees with these countries in expanding. The only reason why they agreed to join is because they were influenced too. They didn't necessarily want to join. So they want to leave. Oh, and I figured out how to do this. I forgot how you... I know this is embarrassing. No. Hold on guys, I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Like I was previously saying, the orange team leaves the alliance, which got angers China, Bangladesh, and the square alliance, and red team. And with this, the orange team declares themselves neutral, and this offends Bangladesh and red team. So the orange team sees this and they declare war on the red team because they feel threatened by all the troops on the border. So orange team strikes first. I'm just going to use Zello to represent orange team. They make the first major advance. And red team starts a small advance in from the south. and the purple team gets involved. The dark purple team gets involved and starts a small invasion. The red team hands over this front line, part of their southern front, to the purple team. As the orange team gets pushed out of the north here, the west here, same that of the east, and blue team starts the invasion in the orange team, and same with the red team. The orange team might be full of people and resources, but when they're formed again, when a coalition is formed against them by the square team and a smaller nation, they get basically pummeled. So they are having an easier time pushing in. The orange team is kind of quick to fall. Is seeing how much they're losing and that their capital is under threat by multiple capturing of the red and purple teams. They surrender. And we can look at this peace treaty real quick. Let me turn off the headlines. The dark purple team gets a massive chunk of their land back, going right up into the suburbs of the capital region, the old capital region. And for the red team, they take most of the west, doing the same thing as the purple team. And with the blue team, they take about all of this. And I'm just gonna fix the border up here. While that was happening, they take this. The blue team is big, and the people are starting to become restless, especially over here in the east. That they just fought a war over here in the west. And the orange team, what the? And the blue team, if I can do it correctly, hold on, work with me here. What? No. The orange team basically moves their capital from here all the way up here. And what remains of the people expand upward. Just reclaim. Just to be able to get more population going again. And the red team sees this and starts to expand more north as well. And west. And that's where now a new layer comes in major cities, which I'm just going to Bogota Yeah, which I'm just gonna poke it around. Yeah, the orange team had a ton of major cities, but not anymore. But as you get more towards the more newer areas, the less major cities there are. And there's many a ton of major cities near a couple regions. And the purple team had these major cities, but in the war, they were lost. I know these major cities don't look that right, but I don't really care that much right now. I can fix them later in post. But oh, China has a lot. And I mean a lot of major cities. The point where they are like the most populated. Vietnam has a couple here and there. But Singapore has a ton. But some of these like newer countries, especially like over here, they don't have that many. Because they're still so new. And especially with this country up here being whoa. Especially with this country up here, semi-country. They finally discovered Korea. Like I said they would. And they take advantage of this and completely discover the peninsula. Even discovering that down here. And they even land in Japan. And they continue to expand their lands over here. And they take this. They take Korea. The point where people refer to them as Korea. Because they absorbed all this land. And people were discovering stuff there. The point where they set up their capital in Pyongyang. And going back to trade routes. Whoa. Okay, I just moved the map. That's what I did. There. That's somewhat fixed. Yeah, just watch me fail multiple times as I try to fix our map here. That's good enough. Going back to trade routes. They start to expand it all the way up here when China is constructing it. And this country also starts constructing it. The point where they're easily able to connect it up in a few months. And they start to explore more and more of Asia while this was happening. So we were a good chunk of Asia is discovered. I know Asia has been discovered more than Europe. Okay, I forgot. I know here in Ireland. One moment, please, while I fix it. If I can. There. Fixed it. Yeah, sure, notes are still fine. What the heck? Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go way back. Way back. But before I broke the map. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to. Now I might just zapped a few people. My bad. But like I was saying. Whoa. They didn't do that. Let me just redo this real quick. We're only going to give them all this land. And that is going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye-bye.